All right, it is rolling. The mic is rolling. That is great. We need that. All right, guys. So I got another question from another friend. This is the Mars Chicken. He has a question that he wants to answer, and I feel like it's about concentration and details, filling out details and stories and character. So let's check out this question. So anyways, my friend has a question and it's talking about story stuff. So let's go and let's read it right now. I've never had a shortage of ideas. My problem is the details. It's hard to sit down and work on one project for a long time and fill in the details. So I don't know how much of this might have to do with just concentrating things, staying on a one thing. That might be a little bit of it, but it feels like maybe more you're trying to figure out how to flesh out characters and story. And I found some great videos about this. They were very helpful, which they'll be in the description, and I'll have a playlist for you to check out. All right, so I found this one technique that can help you better put things into a character, fleshing out a character. So it's called like the card game. I think the person that made the video that I watched made this, or made some of these, but a lot of the other ones they found out online. But one of the things is basically in the card game, you have to write down on a piece of paper, or you could make cards, and you could put down different things about the character. So it's about like, you could put on the top of the paper, character, and then put the name of the different characters, and then you can put the occupation, different occupations you have down, and then you could put also on next like tropes for the characters, things about character tropes and things like that. And the other one, the last one, is nationality. You could put maybe different nationalities, ethnicities, things like that, races, and then you cut them out, you cut them all out, and then you put them in their own piles, and then you shuffle them around, and then you pick out the first thing, the character name. And even though you might already have a character in your story that's like you have things, it's still good to give like the thought, like don't completely think this doesn't fit. Like if you were to put these things later together in the character, this doesn't fit. Please just stick through it and don't listen to that voice. Just put like someone named Henry, put as a character you had found like through the pile. Then the next thing is, depends on how you put the pile, but if you put nationality, then you're like, oh, he's Canadian, so Henry's Canadian. And then his occupation is, he is a farmer. And then trope like enemy to lovers or something like that. And then you could then figure out like the character, and you could kind of go with that. But you also realize if it's something that doesn't exactly like super make sense, maybe the characters like you have a little idea how they are. Maybe they are like a child and they're not vain, but if you did like Beauty and Beast like in them, I guess maybe that wouldn't make sense because like they're not vain, so beauty wouldn't make sense. But it's just still a thing to think about. It's like a mental exercise that you can use. And it sounds actually really good. It sounded fascinating when I found it. The second tip is the Myers-Briggs types. You've probably heard about this. This is putting introverts and extroverts like in their different like senses, feeling, like things like that put together. There's a website you can go to figure out like how this might work out for the character. And I heard it might take a while to do, but this is just an idea that you could put into characters and it might be helpful. So that's also another tip right there. And the third and last one is a technique called the triptych. And I've never heard about this before. It was a new thing to me, but basically it's about, you have to pick only 3 things in a mood board of a character. So let's say it could be like a particular face you have for the character. Okay, so that's one slot. And then the next one could be like maybe red Nike shoes. So then it's like, oh, they're like that type of sport looking like outfit stuff. And then maybe the last one could be like a leather jacket, like a brown leather jacket or something. And you only have to pick 3. You can't do more than that. And it doesn't have to be like items or faces. It could be maybe kind of like closer to a concept, but it could be things like that that will work out, flesh out the character in your mind to see what they would wear and what they would do. And those 3 techniques are actually for the first answer I got for you, so that's kind of a lot right there. The second one is doing the process I mentioned in another video about using sticky notes to make big chunks of things more manageable, which is in the last video I made, but check it out. It will be in the description to watch that video and in the end cards. And it's what I mentioned to my friend Andy. It is putting like post-it notes, different colored post-it notes, and then within a row post-it notes, like yellow all the way down, you put the smaller manageable parts of the character or things like that, tropes. You could do that, and that will actually kind of work out pretty good to see like overall like how it may come together. So I hope that's a helpful thing. Check out that video. And this third one I actually feel is probably the most important, and it's called sensory language and sensory feeling language in writing. Wait, no, it was sensory and emotional language. And I feel like this is very helpful. So the way this works is that if you're writing something, which there's kind of like two ways of writing. If you're writing something just to get the point across, you're not using a lot of super descriptive words. You're just like, I ran to the store. And that's just like to get across very quickly to maybe someone that makes sense in texting or maybe in certain type of responses. But you can, if you're writing fictional work, this sensory and emotional language actually will fit so much better to help you engage your viewer or reader audience into the story that you're writing. And I feel like a lot of us don't use this enough. And this could also be related to videos slightly, because if you write this in your script this way, then you'll be able to think and see visually how it may come out. And that is actually very, very useful. So say the example, I ran to a store, so that's very quick. But to fill out, to make it more emotional, more sensory, maybe let's think, I didn't think about this through this part, like, let's see, as I began to open the door and I ran through the fields behind the back of my house, the grass gently touched my ankles with such fervor as I run so quickly through this dirty path. I eventually arrived at my destination with just filled with so much food. It was great. It's just putting a lot of verbs and words to describe it so like succulently, which is a word you can use in the story, things like that. Obviously I need more help with that, getting that down. But there's videos that will do this so much better that I found, so check it out. There's a different description in the video down below that you can see that will be super helpful to help describe this much better than I can. And I'm gonna probably want to watch that again to really think about how I could tell better stories, writing and different things. So it's just a cool, it's just like, I feel like it's the best tip out of all these three. So yeah, check out that video. All right, so I hope this was helpful. I got the playlist videos you can check out in the description down below. Oh, dog's barking. Okay, really? Oh my gosh. I hope these videos were helpful. There's definitely videos you can check out in playlists, which you should, to learn some more new things like I did. And thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And if you are, well, thank you so much for sticking around, for learning some new things, and I hope they were helpful. Don't forget to be safe and creative out there, and I'll see you guys next time. So I'll see you guys. Bye. And I hope these videos are helpful for helping you realize, like, maybe thinking about things differently and maybe techniques you haven't even known. And I like the process of this video for me finding things to help you, because it's helped me learn new things and things I didn't even think about yet to learn. So it's really cool. I really like how these questions and answers are going so far.